Today's episode of the Fan Feed Network podcast is brought to you by Bonnier Jewelry. Week 12 of the NFL season is here. What in the world has happened? In the blink of an eye, the fantasy season has just disappeared in front of our very eyes. Fantasy playoffs start in about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on what kind of league you're in, week 14 or 15. And so trade deadlines are approaching. A lot of people's trade deadlines have already passed. But for those of you who haven't, this is the show for you. So tonight we're talking strength of playoff schedules. How do we use that information to help us make moves to win our leagues? We're going to be talking about waiver wire ads and drops, and we're also going to talk trade targets. And we're targeting guys who are going to help us win our leagues. But yes, this is Week 12 Fantasy Football Podcast. Welcome to the show. If you haven't been here before, please hit subscribe, like the video, share a comment, hang out with us. We'll be answering questions all throughout tonight's show live here. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and you can also listen to us on podcasts. If you can't listen to this show tonight live, you can listen to us anywhere podcasts are streamed. But I've got the fellas here. We've got Logan, Dom, Alex. Gentlemen, good to have you all here. Logan, how are you feeling after Sunday with your Chiefs?
Still recovering from it. It's not looking good. That was definitely a must-win game, and now with the loss, the division is definitely out of reach, and now you can only hope for the wild card spot at this point. And we've lost all the wild card teams, so it's going to be an uphill battle for the Chiefs to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that was my first response when I saw that. Was just, oh no, Chiefs are in so much trouble. Yeah. Like I did not have them missing the playoffs on my bingo card. Alex,
you said, "Oh no," when you found out the Chiefs were in trouble.
Yeah, I actually enjoy the Chiefs. I enjoy the Chiefs.
I expect all you to be pretty happy that Chiefs are struggling right now.
Oh, yes, I am.
Like, to be honest, Alex, when the Patriots were, had their dynasty when I was younger, I was sick and tired of seeing the Patriots. So,
of course,
I'm guessing it's basically the same thing, just reciprocated.
Don't worry, guys. You don't have to worry about the Bears.
Hey, or do
they're
top of the NFC North.
Right now, not dynasty-wise, but right now, you don't have to worry. You definitely have to worry about them now. Not dynasty-wise, though.
Yeah, they're still maybe a couple years away, but they're super impressive too. 7-3. I cannot believe that the Bears are 7-3.
Me neither.
That is wild. So let's talk this Fan Feed Writers League real quick. I know Logan's not here in that league, but Alex, Dom, Alex, how are you doing in that league?
I believe that I am top 3 now. I'm 8-3. I'm on a. Let's see. Yeah, I'm on a 4-game win streak. I'm currently second in the league. It's been a great few weeks for me, and killed it this week. Only behind, I believe, you and like 2 others in scoring. You were the top scorer this week.
That's right. That's right. Didn't even need Brian Thomas. Leave him on the bench. Dom, how's it looking for you in the Fan Feed League?
Rough. I think I'm on a 2-loss. Yeah, I'm on a 2-game losing streak, so not ideal. Yeah, the Broncos and Bo Nix definitely sold me. Yeah. I was hoping for Pickens 30 bomb to save me, but couldn't get me out of there. So we're sitting at 6-5 right now. We're still on a playoff spot, so should be good, but it's too close for me. I hate that. I hate when I'm like right on the edge. I'd rather know if I'm tanking or if I'm like 8-3 or 9-2. So definitely not ideal.
Yeah, it's been quite a up and down season. I am getting railed just by the odds, because it's not like I'm the most points scored against. I'm like I'm in middle of the pack with the points scored against, but I'm second in the league in scoring, and I'm just now climbed up to 4th place.
Yeah.
But I've had a couple very good weeks these last couple weeks. Feeling good about the team. Get Brian Thomas back next week. No Travis Hunter. No nobody else really. So hopefully Brian Thomas can do something. Really, it's Trey McBride, which early on in the show, if everybody remembers, we were shouting, buy Brock Bowers, buy Trey McBride.
Yeah.
And that has panned out super well. Also, Josh Allen dropped a 60 burger in that league for me this week. So that's just stupid good.
Interesting scoring settings we have there with the 40 bonuses, 40 plus throw bonuses. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So we did add bonus points for those of you who don't know. You get extra points if you have like a 40 plus completion or reception or run, 40 plus yards, and 50 plus. And then if you score a touchdown with that, it's also an extra couple points. I think it's like 4 total points if it's like a 50 plus yard touchdown, which is nuts. So it's like a 10-point play when you score a touchdown, not counting the yards. So actually, it's like a 14, 15-yard point play. It's crazy. But yeah, loving it. Logan, how's your fantasy leagues doing?
I've been on a heater. My past 3 weeks, I've been a high scorer in one of my leagues. It's a half PPR league, and I've dropped 160, 160, and 145 points in those weeks. But I did lose Drake London for some time, it looks like. So, because that league, I have Nico Collins, Drake London, Emeka Buka, and Trey McBride. So I'm kind of anchored by my pass catchers. And then running backs, I picked up Rico Daddle, and then I picked up Sean Tucker like at 11 a.m. This past Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely got lucky with that. But yeah, losing Drake London is definitely rough for the rest of the season. And then, Kirk Cousins is going to be the star of the rest of the year. So even when he does come back, it'll probably be rough stretch from here on out.
True.
Yeah, man. Drake was on a burner, dude. Finally. I've been holding him in some dynasty leagues for like ever since he was a rookie. And I've just been convinced he's good. I'm like, he's good. It's going to happen. Last year we got like a little flavor of it. And then this year it was on. He was the number 5 overall receiver this year before that knee injury and before Michael Penix tore his 3rd ACL. So yeah, it's pretty much Jover now for Drake London. So sad. Dom, how are your other fantasy leagues doing?
Oh gosh, my main one. I'm on a I think it's a 5-game losing streak now.
Oh,
It's been I was 4-2, and now I'm 4-7. So that was rough because I put my head down when you guys were talking about Josh Allen. So I lost to Josh Allen this week.
yeah.
Any other quarterback this guy would have played, I'd have been fine. I dropped like 129, and his rest of the team mediocre. Nobody but Josh Allen, George Kittle saved them. So yeah.
Man, do any of your friends make fun of you for not being good in your fantasy league, but you're on a fantasy podcast?
100%. Yeah. They comment on my posts, and they say they take screenshots and like of our rankings and be like, this guy is like, circle my name.
Really?
Dude.
I have to delete them right away. It's like I'm not a dictator like that on social media, but those I have to get rid of. I can't let my social stock dip.
That's how you know they're good friends,
Yeah.
Or great friends. Good friends will share your content. Great friends will roast you for it. And yeah, every week in my dynasty leagues, like I'm doing really well in quite a lot of them. Like I think I have a combined let's see, 6 losses across 4 dynasty leagues, which is pretty decent. And I still have guys like when I lose a game, they're like, man, I thought you had a podcast, dude. I thought you knew this stuff. Like, shouldn't you know to start Travion Henderson? Shouldn't you know to do these things? I'm like, stop, enough.
What's even better is when they you try to do a move that you say on the podcast, like add somebody or trade for something. They're like, nope. Seen you talk about this already. I've had that happen. I don't know if you guys had.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can't do any moves in my leagues. They're like, oh, so you'll sell Travion Henderson now? Let me give you Parker Washington for him. I'm like, stop, enough. But all right, let's get into this. We got Trinity in the house. Trinity says hi. Hello, Trinity. We also have Juan Pena. He asking a question. Who should I use for my wide receiver 2, 3, and flex spot? He's got Devontae Adams, Jonathan Taylor, Travion Henderson, Hollywood Brown, Tez Johnson, Parker Washington, Jordan Addison, Toby Myers, Charbonnet, Jacobs, Debo, Quentin Johnson on bye. So I'm guessing he's asking for 2 receivers and a flex spot out of those guys. Anybody want to take a stab at this one?
Yeah, if I were him, then I would definitely start Josh Jacobs, assuming he plays. Then I'd start Debo Samuel because as long as Terry's out, Debo's been really good and will continue to be. And then Jordan Addison, I'm counting on a bounce back from him. If you really don't like Jordan Addison, then maybe Jacoby Myers. But yeah, those would be my 3. Definitely Jacobs and Debo, though.
I think Debo's actually on bye week this week.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So he's got Jacob,
what he's saying.
Debo, and
Got it.
Quentin Johnson
Okay.
are on bye. Yep.
Then Jacobs, Addison, Myers for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
going to say too.
Who did?
I was
Who
going
did
to
the
say Parker
Jags go?
Washington. I know he had a bad game, but I think that even before Brian Thomas gets back, I think he has good flex value or wide receiver 3 value over Myers. I'm not too sure about Myers in this offense. I think he's going to be used as more like I don't know. I think they're still getting him used to the system. So I would go Washington. I don't think either is bad, but
Yeah, that's a really tough one because we don't really have enough information to know whether Myers or Washington is going to be more targeted, especially once Brian Thomas comes back. It's a good spot because they're playing the Cardinals, which Cardinals are putting up points. They're throwing the ball like that is just a shootout city. So it's a great game to target. However, just don't know. I think Jacoby Myers would probably be where I lean, but I wouldn't be surprised if Parker Washington ended up playing. Bucks play the Rams, so Tez Johnson, maybe. I don't know. That yeah, I think I agree with you guys. Addison, Myers. Y'all say who did y'all say? Jacobs?
You said Jacobs, yeah.
Jacobs for sure.
I doubt Jacobs will play. So in case Jacobs doesn't play, probably Charbonnet. Out of those 3, Charbonnet or Tez, just because Tez has massive touchdown upside. So anyway, thanks for the question, Juan. But yeah, let's get into this because we have quite a lot we want to talk about. We weren't here last week. It's playoff time. We're getting right down to the wire. If you go, I'll share this in the show notes later on for everybody if you're watching. But you can also just Google this. If you go to Reddit, you can Google strength of schedule for fantasy football playoffs. And there's a whole chart that somebody posted with the strength of schedule for weeks 15 through 17. And I'm going to read off some of these. Well, we'll start with the quarterback position. So the top 5 easiest quarterback schedules for the quarterback position. We've got the Minnesota Vikings, number 1, Miami Dolphins, and number 2, Indianapolis Colts, number 3, Washington Commanders, not Jaden Daniels, probably be Marcus Mariota, and then New York Jets at number 5. And I want to ask Logan, are there any quarterbacks here that you think are worthy of targeting just for the playoff run?
For me, it's definitely, JJ McCarthy. I know he struggled, but at least the first 2 rounds, you get the Cowboys and the Giants the first 2 rounds. Yeah. And then I think he should take advantage of those opportunities. And hopefully by that time, he develops a little bit more. But the offense is too good. The weapons are too good for him to struggle. And then Tua, I also think, has a really light schedule as well.
Yeah, Tua's the scary one just because you never know what Tua you're going to get. But that schedule is just delicious. Alex, when it comes to playoff schedules, are you moving mountains to try to get these guys? Or, are you kind of staying put with who you have? How do you approach the playoff schedule when evaluating league winners?
Yeah, for me, it's about finding value. And I like to pair up the guys with easy playoff schedules. I like them to be guys with easy playoff schedules and also guys that have been injured or guys that haven't been performing recently. So it ends up being a buy low. Somebody's in contention to even make the playoffs, and I can buy these guys off them. And that's why for quarterback position, my favorite guy is Brock Purdy because he's been out forever, and everybody's tired of having them in their IR slot. And weeks 15, 16, 17, or I think 14, 15, 16, he plays the Titans, the Colts, and the Bears. 3 pretty bad pass defenses. So guys like him who their owners are tired of having them on the bench, and they have a very easy, very favorable schedule, I will try to send them like a position player if they have a need for a flex or something in return for Brock Purdy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great call out because obviously his matchups aren't technically in the top 5. He's at least according to this chart, it's the 7th best quarterback matchups for the playoffs. But Purdy is just solid. He's so solid, and they have so many weapons, and he's efficient. I think we saw that this past week with him throwing, 3-4 touchdowns, I believe. I can't remember exactly, but he's playing super well, going to have a lot of weapons as long as everybody stays healthy, but they do have just about everybody back. So I think that's a great call out, and I love your strategy when it comes to these league winners. Dom, is there anybody in the top 5 with the quarterbacks that you'd be targeting for the playoffs, or is there anybody else that you think is worth targeting for playoff time in the quarterback position?
I think I'm going out to Daniel Jones. I know he's had a really crappy last 2 games, but we've seen his upside. I don't think that anybody denies that he's been on fire this year. I think the last 2 games are kind of just an outlier. He has the 49ers in week 16 and Jaguars in week 17, which is your most people's finals. So I think he's just a great buy low right now, especially. I think what Alex said is perfectly the perfect strategy for everybody. You try to find that value where guys are not performing, especially right now. Trade deadline, you want guys that are not performing right now and have nice schedules. So I think Daniel Jones, Brock Purdy, guys like that are really, really good to go after.
Yeah, definitely. I like the Daniel Jones one. Daniel Jones just scares me because I feel like he could turn into a pumpkin at any point in time. He feels like a ticking time bomb. But yeah, I mean, you could be bold enough and say you're going to go for Jaden Daniels. The owners of Jaden Daniels are probably extremely frustrated right now. He's been injured or hurt throughout the entire season so far. Currently out with that broken arm, terrible injury. Prayers to him and his family. But he's one that has just massive upside if he does play. And then, here's the thing. This is why I wanted to talk this strategy, because the New York Jets have a great quarterback schedule. But come on, are any of us going to depend on Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor? Fields just got benched for this week. So Tyrod Taylor is set to start this week. I don't think Tyrod's going to keep the job very long because I think Tyrod's just as bad now. Virginia Tech legend. So shout out to Tyrod. I love him. But yeah, I mean, those aren't guys that I'm like, oh, I got to go get those guys, or I'm going to shift off of my quarterback to go get a Justin Fields because he's got a good matchup. You have to use some common sense in these. Jets just aren't going to throw the ball. I will throw this out there, and I think that Alex brought up a good point with the Brock Purdy. So with Josh Allen right now, obviously coming off that 60-point game, he has the 24th schedule. And I want to pull up. Sorry, I'm trying to pull all this stuff up. This is why I need a second screen, guys. Trying to pull up his schedule. So he plays Cleveland in week 16, Philly in week 17, and New England in week 15. So that's a pretty difficult schedule for a quarterback. If you have a Josh Allen team and you're feeling pretty good about your record right now, would you entertain a Josh Allen tear down to Brock Purdy and then gets a plus at a different position? And if so, who would you be targeting? Who wants to take a stab at this one?
I'll take a stab at this. I think that you're going after an RB1 or wide receiver 1. Somebody like I see on here. I like Devon Achane. If you can go Josh Allen for Devon Achane, I know he's been on fire lately, but that's the value you're getting for Josh Allen right now. After a 60 bomb, you could sell him that high. This is right now. This guy is usually most quarterbacks you can't really trade. It's hard to gauge their value, but this is the time where you're going after a RB1. Or if your team, I see a lot of teams. Sometimes people send me their teams lack a lot of depth, injuries, tight ends like Laporta was just put on IR. Get a good amount of wide receiver to get a Debo, get a Get a Marvin Harrison, get a Derrick Henry, guys like that where you could get 2 or 3 of those guys for Josh Allen. I don't mind that, especially if you need depth.
So let me read you this. Once again, I'm pulling up dynastydaddy.com. Shout out Dynasty Daddy. You can go on there, look up their trade database, and they have listed trades that have happened in all kinds of leagues. So I put in Josh Allen and then Brock Purdy on the other side. I'll give you a couple examples. You guys tell me if you take this or not. So 2 days ago, somebody traded Josh Allen for Brock Purdy and Derrick Henry. Logan, would you take that trade?
Is this do you say dynasty or is it redraft?
This is redraft.
Redraft?
Yep, one quarterback redraft team.
I'd probably side with the Josh Allen side. It's just going to be tough for me to trade Josh Allen at this point, to be quite honest with you. I know the schedule's tough, but like in 2 weeks, Cincinnati week 14. That could be a week where you're trying to fight for a bye week, trying to fight for positioning in the standings. I would probably take the Josh Allen side on that one slightly.
Okay. All right. How about this one? This one's for Alex. Josh Allen for Brock Purdy and Jalen Warren.
Oh gosh, Josh Allen's side. I kind of disagree with what Dom was saying earlier, like trading Josh for depth, because there is no other quarterback who brings the fantasy upside of Josh Allen. Like even Lamar had an amazing season last year, but Josh Allen was the quarterback one the 3 years before that. Josh Allen is the standard when it comes to fantasy football. He's the only quarterback in NFL history to have a 3 passing touchdown, 3 rushing touchdown game, and he's done it twice. I would not trade Josh Allen unless it was the most enticing, incredible, lopsided offer of all time. He is amazing to have on your team. I don't care who he's playing. I'm starting him.
All right. How about this one for Dom? I've upped it a little bit because I think I agree. It's hard to tear down so much from Josh Allen down to Purdy. That's a massive, massive drop. And you're most likely not going to get some of those guys like Dom mentioned, which Achane would be a great one. But, most guys aren't going to trade Achane. They love Achane if they're smart. But what about Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson's been hurt. He hasn't really performed. Owners are frustrated with him. Here's a trade: Josh Allen and Kenneth Gainwell for Lamar Jackson and Ashton Genty. Dom, are you taking that?
I honestly, I was, me and Alex had different sides on this. I'm not going to take that. I just think that Ashton Genty hasn't been what, he's been advertised to be. I wouldn't do that for that. I'm
okay.
He's at RB2 at best and with weekly upside, but I wouldn't trade Josh Allen for him.
Would anybody take that trade?
I would. I think the running back gap is huge there.
Yeah.
I mean, I just said how Josh Allen is the standard, but the only guy that I was comparing him to is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is pretty
the
close.
other standard.
He's
I'm
pretty close to
on that.
Josh Allen is the standard. Lamar's close, and Ashton Genty's good. Sorry, Logan.
I mean, Genty's good, but he had 6 carries for 7 yards last night. It's just like in the first half last night, they threw the ball 28 times and ran the ball twice. And just like, I think he's a really good player, but I don't really want, pieces on that offense. So I would take the Josh Allen side. And Lamar, he has the Jets this week, so he'll exploit that matchup, but I'll still take Josh Allen over Lamar.
Yeah. And I think the Genty thing was, game script. There's a lot of people freaking out about Ashton Genty right now. I'll actually let's talk about this for just briefly. Ashton last night was terrible for all intents and purposes. A lot of people are saying that he was not worth the early second or late first round pick in redraft leagues this year. Going back, would you still take the stab at Ashton Genty at that spot, knowing what you know now? Logan, I'll ask you.
At the back of the first or early second?
Yeah. Yep.
I would not.
Yeah.
I would not. And if you look at his schedule, he has his week 14 through 17 is Denver, Philadelphia, Houston, and then Giants week 17. So Giants is a light. That's a game you want to play him in. But the other 3, those are top defenses. So if you trade for him now, which you're going to have to because the trade deadline is in a week or 2, it's not going to, pan out at the end.
Well, let me ask it this way, because I think that I didn't phrase that well. Knowing the range of outcomes for Ashton Genty, obviously we've hit kind of the lower mid range of the outcomes of what he could have been. But do you still think that, looking back, do you think the process was correct to take him that early. Alex, I'll turn to you. Would you take a rookie running back who was drafted in the top 10 on the Oakland Raiders or Las Vegas Raiders? Sorry, showing my age. Do you think that process is correct?
I was alive for the Oakland Raiders too. I still remember them that way.
Let's
It's
go,
not
baby.
just you. But it's complicated because we've seen rookie running backs have great fantasy impacts. Like look at Leonard Fournette, look at Saquon Barkley. So the reasoning was there. However, I just don't think we knew how bad this Raiders offensive line would be. Like it's absolutely atrocious. It's one of the worst offensive lines that I've ever seen. So
yeah,
I think that we need to give a little bit more thought to how good the people blocking for the running back are when we're drafting him overall. But yeah, I still think that we shouldn't be turned off of rookie running backs in the future just because Ashton Genty's had a rough season.
Yeah, and I think that's the point. I think I wanted to point out is that it's easy to say in hindsight, like, oh, he was a terrible pick and, we all missed, right? But, like, understanding what Ashton Genty could have been had he hit, if you understand that, to me, it's worth taking that risk. But obviously, I play in a lot more leagues, so I'm not as dependent on just my 1 or 2 drafts. If you're only in 1 or 2 drafts, then yeah, I get why you want to draft safely. But let's move on. I do want to bring up this question because this is kind of nice. K-Space 91. Khalil Shakir or Romeo Dubs this week, full PPR, pick one sexy guy. Let's see, who's Green Bay playing? Green Bay's playing Minnesota.
Yeah.
Bills are playing
Houston on Thursday.
Houston. Ugh.
And Shakir didn't practice yesterday or today, so that is something to take into consideration. I would take Romeo Dobbs here personally.
Yeah, I'd take Dobbs. Anybody on the Shakir side?
No, Shakir's been disappointing. Even though Christian Watson's taken a lot of Dobbs touchdowns, he's still a reliable option.
Yeah,
And PPR especially.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on. We're going to go through this one a little quicker. Top 5 easiest running back schedules. So we've got the Commanders, we've got the Dolphins, we've got the Packers, we've got the Vikings, and the Ravens. Those are the 5 teams with the best playoff schedules. I'll start with Dom. Dom, is there a running back from any of these teams that you're targeting in trade?
Yeah, obviously all of them. I actually except for Bill and Chris Rodriguez. I feel like that's just a messy. It's not worth trading for this late in the season. You're not. This is not going to grow into anything during the playoffs.
And to be honest with those 2 guys, both of those guys are probably on waivers. So it wouldn't be trades. It'd be adding them to your team. Real quick. K-Space, drop the like. Shout out K-Space. Thank you. All right. So go ahead. You were saying you'd be trading for all those guys.
I would be trading for all those guys. I actually do like Aaron Jones a lot. We think the past couple games since he's come back, we've seen that split kind of lean more towards him. I know this season we were more thinking it was going to be like a 60-40% snap share between him and Mason. But I think this past game against Chicago too, he's just kind of taking the lead with this. He's a really nice schedule. And I think especially with how atrocious JJ McCarthy is, he's going to be looking to check down. He's going to be looking for Aaron Jones to get those chunk yards. I really do like him, and I like Derrick Henry especially too. I think they have a nice end of year schedule.
Nice. Alex, any of these guys that you're targeting or anybody else that's not listed?
Yeah, like he was talking about Derrick Henry just at the end there. He's been my number 1 buy low guy for the last 5 weeks or so. With Lamar back, he's more efficient, and I think he's going to have an incredible stretch as they make this playoff push, aided by the fact that Rodgers has the broken wrist. I think Ravens are going to get into the playoffs, and he's going to be a big reason they do. So I'd be trading for him if you can.
Nice. Logan, any of these guys that you'd be willing to trade for or going out and trying to buy?
So a name that's not on this list, and it's kind of back to our idea from earlier, players that have been injured, owners may be frustrated holding on to these players. I think Trey Benson, he's had a meniscus injury. He faces Atlanta and Cincinnati the final 2 weeks of the season. So, and you can buy him extremely low. So I think Trey Benson is somebody that people should be going after if people have been stashing him on their benches.
Yeah, definitely. I love that addition. And actually, I read that he's about 49% owned right now, which is insane to me. So if you guys, just a flash forward to the waiver segment. If Trey Benson is on your waivers, you need to add him this week. You should have added him last week. You need to add him this week. But yeah, I think all these guys, these are the guys that I like. Achane, obviously, I think is expensive. So probably you're not going to be able to get him unless you just have a disgusting team and can afford to just throw things away. But the two guys, the last three guys I just think are so cheap. I'm so willing to go after them. Jacobs, especially right now with this injury, and he's had a pretty underwhelming season. But the Packers have struggled offensively, especially passing the ball. I think Jacobs is a great buy low just for that playoff push. So if you're already, projected to make the playoffs and you can afford to lose one or two of the next couple weeks, Jacobs is the guy I love. And Jones, I agree with Dom. Like Aaron Jones is just, I think he's probably the league winner with JJ McCarthy struggling. They're going to turn to the run. Jordan Mason is, mid. And I just think Aaron Jones, he catches passes. He's running the ball well. He's going to be a good one. So let's talk top 5 easiest receiver schedules. We've got the Niners at number 1, Commanders at number 2, Packers at number 3, Patriots at number 4, Cleveland Browns at number 5. Before we do that, really quick, Kendrick is in the chat. He said, Alex, how did that Montgomery Higgins trade work out for you?
I mean, it worked out great. Higgins had a touchdown. He's my wide receiver 1 by far. I mean, this season has been riddled with wide receiver injuries for me. I have McLaurin, Hill, and Neighbors. I drafted all 3 of them in the top 5 rounds in the Fan Feed Writers League draft. I needed a wide receiver 1, traded Montgomery for Higgins. Could not be happier. He's going to score me 40 points this week with Jamar Chase out. So, yeah, I'm happy moving forward with Higgins. I like his value. I like his quarterback situation. Yeah, happy with the trade. How about you, Kendrick? How are you enjoying David Montgomery right now? But, yeah, I'm sure he'll type out a response to that. But, yeah,
we'll leave him to do that. So, Logan, let's start with you. Any of these receivers, those top 5 teams that you would be targeting for trade?
For me, it's Ricky Pearsall. He's coming off a disappointing week. He's been injured most of the season. And, like you said, they have the easiest schedule remaining among the wide receivers. And we kind of talked about earlier, they faced Tennessee, the Colts, and Chicago during that stretch. And I do think if he can stay healthy, he should be able to produce. I know he only had 1 catch this past week for 0 yards, but I do think that can cause like a really low buy now price.
Nice. Yeah, really quick. I'm messing with some settings here. For some reason, our mobile setup looks like crap. It only shows Dom's forehead, Alex's forehead, and then my chinny chin chin. No. So sorry to all you on mobile. I'm currently working on a fix. But let me pass this over to Alex. And Alex, take some time talking about these receivers if you don't mind.
Maybe I should just move my head up this high, and that'll do something for me. But
me and Alex will run it.
Yeah, I'm just a huge fan of the Vikings receivers moving forward. They're outside the top 5. I know. They're at number 9 on that list of easiest playoff schedules. But come on, JJ McCarthy can't stay this bad for this long. So I trust Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison's talent to carry them through the playoffs, especially because they play 4 bottom 8 teams in the 4 fantasy playoff weeks. So yeah, I just like them a lot.
Nice. Dom, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with all those guys. I really actually like Devonta Smith. Sorry, I'm watching Logan in the mobile screen. I do really like the Devonta Smith. I know that offense has been notoriously bad this season passing. Just his upside, his target share. I do like Jordan Addison as well. 7 targets this past game, just terrible drops. But I do like him, Jordan Addison, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall. Those guys I think have really solid schedules, and you can buy them low right now. They're not wide receiver 1s. You can trade a guy like who had a good game, Kenneth Walker, get him out of your lineup if you have him. Get one of these guys, get an Addison, get a Devonta Smith. So I think those guys are really, really good for the fantasy playoffs.
It's a great sell high week for Kenneth Walker. I will agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. All right. So with the top 5 receivers, I love the 49ers, the selection there. I just think all those guys can eat, and they're cheap. Jawan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall. I'm not worried about the Commanders, Packers. Really, the receivers is kind of a dead zone, I would say. These are guys I'm not like chasing to go grab. So let's move forward to the tight ends. Shout out Sports Zone. What's up? I think it's Troy. Troy, what up, my man? Hope you're doing well. And then Kendrick says, the dude only gave me 4 points this week. So you won that trade. Kendrick knows that because I waxed him this week. I had to give it to him. I'm sorry. All right. Last but not least, tight ends. Top 5 easiest tight end schedules. We got the Dolphins, Ravens, Colts, Jets, Lions. Dom, any of these tight ends that you're targeting in trade?
Man, I got to go with my boy, Colson Loveland right now. He's got a pretty easy schedule. Browns, he got week 16. Week 15, he has the Browns. Week 16, he has the Packers. And then week 17, he has the 49ers. I think especially with his uptick in usage, I think he'll be a really sneaky add if he's still available in your leagues, if that's possible. I think he's a pretty decent buy low right now because he hasn't been playing to what happened a couple weeks ago where he dropped that monster game. I also think that if you can see if you can pick up or trade low, buy low for Mark Andrews. I know he hasn't been fantastic this season, but he's going against the Bengals in week 15, which are dead last against tight ends. Then he's got the Patriots and the Packers. So if you need somebody who you can get for a low, those 2 guys I really like.
Love it. Alex.
Yeah, I agree with your last point there. Mark Andrews is the guy. Since Lamar's been back, he had a 2-touchdown game. He had another touchdown last week or 2 weeks ago. He's not too old to be fantasy relevant, and I love his schedule. Like in the next 5 weeks, he plays Cincinnati twice, and Cincinnati's allowing 20 whole points per game to tight ends. So huge Mark Andrews guy. I know my Patriots are bad against tight ends. I know the Steelers are bad against tight ends. I don't think his schedule could be much better going forward.
Logan?
Yeah, both these guys stole my. I was gonna say Mark Andrews as well, but he has the easiest schedule. Like if you look at all these teams he's playing, I mean, he has, as Alex said, Cincinnati twice. He has New England in there, Green Bay, all susceptible defenses, especially the tight end. So I like the Mark Andrews shout out as well.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So for those of you who are watching on mobile, I believe, I don't know if this is true. Let me test it. I don't know what's going on with that. Kind of screwy, but we do apologize. Watch it through your browser. So if you're on your phone, go through your browser, Safari, and you'll see us normal. And we'll fix this before the next pod. All right. When we talk about tight ends, there's a lot of sleeper guys here. Obviously, Tyler Warren, I think, is the guy that's too expensive. And I just don't think you're going to be able to get him. Laporta's hurt, so not really interested in him right now. I love you guys all talking about Andrews. I think likely would be a good guy to grab off the waivers if you have the space to do so, just as a flyer if you're really hurting at tight end. And then Darren Waller. He's one that we've got on the waiver list here that we're about to hit. When Darren Waller comes back from injury, which I believe will be next week, I mean, dude's just a touchdown machine. He's got the number 1 tight end schedule. Tua's got a very easy schedule. The whole Dolphins offense is just got an easy schedule for the playoffs. So Waller's a guy that I really enjoy having, and especially with the Dolphins offense playing a lot better recently. So yeah, I think those are great ones. Sports Zone says AJ Barner or Noah Fant. Anybody want to take a stab at that?
Can I
I'll
choose
say AJ
either?
Barner. Yeah, I was gonna say neither. I'll
go
say
to
Barner
waivers?
if I have to choose.
Yeah, if
Only
we're
if-
choosing, it's Barner.
Yeah, I was about to say he has a very nice fantasy schedule, football playoff schedule, but he just doesn't get targeted enough. That offense isn't tailored to tight ends.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that does it for the playoff schedule, strength of schedule. I think it's a very useful tool when looking towards the playoffs, especially if you've got a bunch of guys who are have really tough schedules. So like, I'm not worried about the top tier guys, and I think we can all agree on this. Like, if it's a Bijan and he's got the 31st ranked playoff schedule, we're like, okay, that sucks, but it's Bijan. Like, start your studs. But when you have a guy who's performing well now, here's a perfect example: Jaylen Warren. So Jaylen Warren from weeks 11 through 17, weeks 11 through 17 altogether has the fourth easiest schedule. But just weeks 15 through 17, he's got the 31st ranked schedule. And so Warren is a guy that if you can sell him high because you still have a trade deadline that hasn't hit yet, I encourage you to do so because it's going to be really bad in the playoffs. It's a bad Steelers offense with a Jaylen Warren that's performing well. And you could probably get something, maybe a Jalen Waddle, like go target a Jalen Waddle who, is playing on an offense that's ascending and he's the number one target earner there right now. So anyway, that does it for that. Let's head into waiver wire. Number one guy I've got here, Emmanuel Wilson. Logan, you like Emmanuel Wilson to be the backup for Josh Jacobs?
Yes, and like you stated earlier, I don't think Josh Jacobs ends up playing this week. They played Detroit on Thanksgiving. I think they want him to be as healthy as possible for that game. And Emmanuel Wilson dominated the backfield, snaps when Josh Jacobs went out last week. I believe he had 10 carries for 41 yards and a touchdown. And he had like 35 of the 40 snaps in the backfield. I believe Emmanuel Wilson, for me, would probably be the top waiver wire ad this week.
Yeah, I think it's a great ad. Alex, when Josh Jacobs was initially hurt, Schefter came out and said that his injury would not require surgery, which leads me to believe that the injury is pretty bad. So do you think Wilson might have some value moving forward, especially going into the playoffs potentially?
It's interesting. I don't see him getting any more value than like Zach Charbonnet or one of those second fiddle guys to another player. I think that, yes, this week, well, if Josh Jacobs is out and the next week as well, he will have value, maybe be a good RB2/flex play. But going into the fantasy playoffs, I don't see that much value in him in the long term. Because Jacobs, we forget, he's still one of the best running backs in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm going to turn to Dom on this one. Dom, what the heck happened with Michael Wilson on Sunday?
Marvin Harrison was sitting at home crying his eyes out that he didn't get the usage that Michael Wilson got on Sunday. That was craziness. And it's sad because I remember looking at him on Sunday and I had Devontae Adams, who we all know what happened to Devontae Adams on Sunday, 1 yard for one touchdown. And I was like, he's hurt. Maybe I should pick up Michael Wilson. I know Marvin Harrison isn't playing this week. Let's see. Maybe Jacoby Myers does something. Everybody left him on waivers. He did that. So definitely upsetting if you didn't pick him up. If you did, I don't mind starting him as a flex. Even when Marvin Harrison is back, I do like his upside, especially with Brissett at quarterback. I do like his upside as a flex. If Harrison is out again this week, he's a wide receiver too with high upside.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, we've talked about this throughout the year, about how the Cardinals love Michael Wilson. It just is so funny that Marvin Harrison misses one game and they're like, all right, Michael Wilson, you're getting 18 targets. You're our Jamar Chase now. Alex, I'll come back to you. Do you think Michael Wilson has value moving forward beyond just this next week?
I do, because I think that Jacoby Brissett is throwing the most passes that we've ever seen a quarterback throw. He broke the record for most completions in a game on Sunday. Like, where did that come from? I don't know, but we've been saying for weeks that he's the better option for fantasy receivers than Kyler Murray. He's leading them to produce on like 2022 Joe Burrow, 2021 Justin Herbert levels. He can sustain 3 relevant fantasy receivers maybe. And Michael Wilson, at his worst, he's going to be like a Tyler Boyd, a not the top option, but he's still going to be relevant in fantasy. I think he's a flex play going forward.
Yeah, that's crazy. Logan, do you agree? Do you disagree?
I agree for sure for this week because I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to end up playing this week. Appendicitis usually it keeps players out for a few weeks, and they're a 3-8 football team, so they're not going to rush their first round pick from last year back onto the field. I do think Michael Wilson does have some near future value. I don't know if it extends into the playoffs, but I do think these next few weeks he could provide some value.
Yeah, just insane. I think the big lesson in all this is buy Jacoby Brissett. He's a dog. He's so good. Like, what is going on? I'm gonna pull up this question from Sports Zone really quick. Joy says Singletary for leagues with 10 or more teams could be a good pickup. And yeah, I mean, how do y'all feel on the Devin Singletary versus Tyrone Tracy dilemma? Tracy actually had a good game this past week. Singletary, I don't really know what he did. I need to look that up. But
he only averaged sub 3 yards per carry, I believe. But he had the 2 touchdowns.
Who's that, Singletary?
Yeah, he had the 2 touchdowns, which kind of saved his day. Yeah,
he got all the red zone work.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna pull that up. But I mean, what's our stance when there's a guy scoring all the touchdowns, but another guy doing all the work? Who do we buy?
I buy the guy getting 4 receptions for 51 yards, and that's Tyrone Tracy.
Yep.
Yes.
I'd rather go with the guy. I'd rather go with the guy who has volume over than gain lucky goal line touchdowns. I'd rather get a guy who's gained a workload, which they both had a healthy workload, but Tracy is much more explosive.
I see this as a crappier Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, just kind of the same kind of deal, but they're on the Giants. So no offense to any Giants fans out there.
Yeah, Devin Singletary. I mean, the only guy that loved him so much was Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll brought him over from Buffalo. Now Daboll's gone, and Singletary actually had his most work all season with Daboll gone, which is crazy. But yeah, I think they will probably use both running backs and go with a hot hand approach. However, I'm just not betting that Devin Singletary is going to be the one who gets the most work. It's Tracy. He's younger, more explosive. He was the lead back last year. And the only reason he lost his job is because Cam Scatterbo is the absolute man. Him and those crazy shoulder bones. So, all right, let's go to this one. This is my favorite one. Bashal Tootin. Bashal Tootin. Oh, man, it was a glorious day for those of us who have been calling Bashal the lead back for the Jags forever. And, yeah, he had a great day until he destroyed his ankle. Logan, is Bashal worthy of a waiver pickup this week?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I do think that he is. This regime drafted Tootin. They inherited Travis Etienne, and they're fine for a playoff spot. So I do think that they're going to give both running backs a shot. I do think it's going to be just a interchangeable backfield. We're going to see both running backs be involved. But I do think Tootin is a valuable add this week.
Yeah. Alex, you going to bend the knee to Bashal Tootin this week?
I'm not sure I'd start him over. I'm not sure I'd start him in a running back slot if you need a flex. Sure,
bend the knee.
I'm not going to submit to your propaganda. Travis Etienne is still relevant. Tank Bigsby would have been better. I'll stick to my guns.
Oof. Dom, how do you feel about Bashal?
I'm in the middle of these two extremes. Yeah, I wouldn't start him. I think he's a decent pickup in better matchups. Like last week, it was just a match made in heaven for both Etienne and Tootin. I would pick him up, stash him. If something happens to Etienne, that he'll go nuclear. But other than that, I would play him on a matchup basis.
All right. Well, let me ask you this question, and I'll ask this to all three of y'all. Who's your favorite ad this week between Emmanuel Wilson and Bashal Tootin? Logan, you go first.
Mine's Emmanuel Wilson, especially if Jacobs misses. Wilson for sure.
All right. So, Alex, Bashal or Emmanuel Wilson?
Yeah. For this week, Emmanuel Wilson. Honestly, for the rest of the season, maybe Bashal too.
Oh, yes. Dom.
Yeah, I'd agree with Alex. Just the rest of the season, I like Tootin, but This week though, it's Wilson.
Yeah. So this is the game we were waiting on, and this is a really good thing I think for us to just briefly sit on is, do you go and get the guy who's got an immediate role for at least 1 week, or do you go for the guy who's, starting his young rookie who's starting to potentially take over a backfield? And that's the issue we have here. And it could easily be that this was a game script thing where they were running the ball a lot in this game. They were up quite a lot. What was the final score of that game?
It was 35-6.
Yeah. So it was a run heavy game. Chargers are terrible in the trenches. So it could have just been a game script thing. However, for me, in the way I play fantasy football, is I'm just always going to go for the guy that looks more like Tootin, not just because I like Bashal Tootin. It could be any other guy. If Emmanuel Wilson had the draft capital and the heat coming up behind him, he'd be the guy I want because, I'm looking at who's going to take over the backfield for the most opportunities. I think Bashal has a great chance to get a lot of opportunities once we get to the playoffs. So yeah. All right, Logan and Alex, when do y'all need to dip?
Right about now, but I will say
right
before
about
I
now?
do, you can take your victory lap on Bashal Tootin. You are taking way too early of a victory lap on Luther Burden if that's what you're about to do, because he's not relevant yet.
What?
I agree.
I
agree with
I
that.
hit you. Can I hit you with something real quick?
Yards per route run. He's played
yards
like
per
20
route run.
snaps.
Yeah, but I mean, amongst the whole team, he's crushing them in yards per route run. He's got a yards per route run of 3. And what does yards per route run tell us? Alex would know because he knows stats.
Yards per route run is a good statistic usually for finding value when there's high volume guys and they're getting a lot of yards per involvement on the field. If they're going to get more workload, it's good for them to increase their fantasy value. However, he's the wide receiver 3. He only got on the field for 44% of snaps, and that probably won't change. So not yet. Not yet on Burden.
And his quarterback completed 50% of his passes. So, and they have a tough schedule moving forward. So I would not be moving mountains for Luther Burden at all.
Well, I'm glad y'all just.
I'm biased, so my opinion doesn't count.
I'm glad y'all stayed on just to poop on my parade, just to dump on me. And we'll have to ask the next two guys. Yeah, but Luther's too early. Yeah, I agree. Low volume passing offense. They're running the ball a lot more right now. He still has DJ Moore and Roma Dunze ahead of him. But here's the thing. Both of those guys suck. They suck.
Roma Dunze's bad? Roma Dunze's not bad. What? And they have Colson Love.
Roma Dunze had 0 points in a game where they scored like 60 points. I don't want to hear it. Roma Dunze sucks.
Sam, I think I'm getting off with them too now. No! You just offended my 7-3 my 7-3 Bears. What are we doing?
Ben Johnson does that sometimes, Cameron. Sometimes Ben Johnson will leave out somebody. You saw that with Jameson Williams.
Ben Johnson also slow played a rookie with Detroit. I can't remember that guy's name. What was his name? He turned out really good. Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's crazy. Luther Burden looks a lot like that.
Don't compare him. What?
You'll see. You will learn.
Luther Burden hype it's off the rails right now.
Astronomical.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's insane.
I'm loving it. I love it.
I'm leaving. I can't hear any more of this.
All right, y'all go add your old man Emmanuel Wilson, and I'll add Luther Burden.
Wait, so are you so the 3 for 27 is why you're this hype?
No. I do not care about the stat line. That was bad. I mean, 3 for 27 is not good. And he dropped the ball. That was like a 20-yard pass. But he had 6 targets, led the team in targets. I just think the game script was just bad. I just like that he's getting more opportunity. And I think the more opportunity he gets, he's going to, produce. And we already saw Olamide Zaccheaus have some games where he was getting targets. And I think Luther Burden could double the value of those targets just because he's that much better than Olamide. And that's why the yards per route run thing is important to me, because it just means that a player is earning targets, and receivers, when they earn targets, are very valuable in fantasy. So anyway, that's all I'm saying. It's not a victory lap yet. It's just getting out ahead of the crowd.
I think we're a year away from, because I think DJ Moore made a trade this offseason.
That's easy to say now in week 12.
Well,
where's the conviction?
Their schedule's tough, man. Their schedule's pretty tough moving forward too, as well.
Probably means they got to throw the ball. But anyway, no. This is good discourse. You guys keep me grounded, because if not, my team would be full of just a bunch of high upside rookies. Yeah, Jaden Blue, Bill,
RJ Harvey,
Tyler Shuck.
Yeah. Tyler Shaw, high upside rookie. What are you talking about?
Hey, don't say that. All right, guys. Well, y'all enjoy your week. We'll see you next time.
See y'all.
See you.
All right, Dom. We dropped 2. We're gonna add 2. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. We got Caleb.
Yo.
Tyler Shaw. Tyler Shaw. Tyler Shaw.
All right, so we got Caleb. Everybody knows Caleb from the Sunday show, and then we got B Mike. Big
Yo,
Mike.
yo. Happy to be here.
Big Mike is currently recording on a potato, so that's awesome.
Is it that bad, really?
No, not it's your mic, but you're okay. You're okay.
Now you look cute, man.
Yeah, you do look cute.
I'm only human here.
All right, real quick, I'm gonna pull up these comments from Sports Zone. He says that Tyron Tracy could get injured again, is what I'm thinking, and that was on the Singletary thing. So yeah, if Tracy gets injured, Singletary's worth adding. And then he also said that Tootin will be good for dynasty leagues. I think he will be good for redraft leagues as well, my boy. But anyway, Cabes and Mike. Well, I'll start with Cabes. Luther Burden. You adding Luther Burden this week? Is he a dog?
Dude, I have had Luther Burden and Bashal Tootin on my bench since draft day. I refuse to let go. It's hard to get excited right now because obviously it was a little bit of production, but this is what we've been waiting for. We know that rookies take time to develop and be good. Only the elites of the elites start off day one crushing it. But like you said, Amon-Ra St. Brown, late bloomer. A lot of these guys, just late bloomers. So I'm not saying Luther's going to come in and start dropping 20 and 30 a game, but it's a high upside play. It's someone you can go grab right now, hold on your bench, and see what happens. It doesn't hurt, and you want to get him now before next week, or the week after, when he does have that big game. And then everyone's getting him. So take the time, get him now, see what he does. If he doesn't do anything, you missed out on Emmanuel Wilson for a week while Josh Jacobs sideline,
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
That. Mike, are you taking a flyer on Luther?
I think it kind of depends on how deep your leagues are. Like I'm in some leagues where I only have like 5 bench spots. So if you're talking about a league where you only got 5 bench spots, no, he's definitely not someone I would add. But if you're talking about like deep leagues, I'm in some leagues where my bench spots are like 10 to 15 spots. So like I think he's worth taking a risk. He's not someone I would start right away. I'd probably wait. I'd say 3 to 5 weeks. I'd probably say I'd give him another 2 weeks to see how he does. But he's not someone I would really trust down the stretch, to be honest. I just think there's way too much target dilution with the Bears right now. I think I don't think Caleb Williams has found like his guy. I think everyone's kind of getting a little bit of the pie week to week. So he's not someone he's just not someone I'm like super high on like y'all. I do think he's very talented for dynasty. I absolutely like him. But if you're talking about redraft, like there's definitely other guys I'd rather have. Guys like Darnell Mooney, guys like that can instantly put up points with, Drake London being hurt, guys like that. But yeah.
Dom, you didn't say much earlier because the other guys were bullying us for being
Come on, Dom.
Bears fans and also Luther Burden fans.
I can't say anything. I'm biased.
Yeah, would you take a flyer on Luther?
I mean, that's like
as a Bears fan, how do you feel about Luther?
I feel the same way I feel about Almeida. How do you say it? Zacchaeus? I don't even know how to say his first name.
Olamide.
It's the same thing. Olamide, yeah, he's getting the same type of work as Luther Burden, and it's so weird because obviously Burden is better than Zacchaeus, but like it's just the usage. I wouldn't mind taking him. I wouldn't mind putting him on your bench, especially like DJ Moore's target. I'm sorry, DJ Moore is not built for this team. He's just
Thank you.
yeah, he's not built
Thank
for this
you.
team, and he doesn't. I don't know. He just doesn't look in play. Romo Dunze, for all the bad games he's had. I'm a Romo Dunze owner. He's had some pretty bad games. He belongs on this team. Luther Burden looks like even Zacchaeus looks like he belongs on this team. DJ Moore just doesn't look like he fits in this scheme, and Burden is playing a lot of the slot snaps. I think he played above like 80% of slot snaps this past week. So I don't mind taking a risk on him. If it's a wide receiver that, especially in a deeper league, I don't mind. Obviously, Dynasty, if you don't have him already, grab him because that'll be the Bears wide receiver 2 next year.
Yep. Yeah. So I'll just say this is that the reason the Luther Burden thing is on here is because, one, rookies historically have been more consistently league winners because all rookies start off pretty slow. Second half of the season is when rookies start to pop off. So we don't really know the full power of Luther Burden yet. One, because he hasn't played a whole lot. And so we're seeing the first steps towards him playing a whole lot. I mean, 60% of the routes and completely like making Olamide Zacchaeus like just gone. So he's immediately now the wide receiver 3. And so all that stuff we've been talking about him not playing has changed in 1 week. DJ Moore this past week, he played more. He ran more routes, had 2 less targets, only had 1 catch for 18 yards. You know, it's like, what are we doing? Like Luther Burden could be the wide receiver 2 on this team. And who's to say that if Luther Burden starts playing well, that him and Rome like play well off of each other and this offense starts clicking on offense, you know, that Caleb Williams starts getting in a rhythm. So you just never know. And that's why I say take a flyer on him. So we spent a lot of time on Luther. We spent a lot of time on Bashal. I'm going to ask each of you about these guys. We'll start with Caleb because I know Caleb loves this guy, Jaden Higgins. Is Jaden Higgins worth an ad this week?
J Hig. He's also been on my bench since draft day. I can't let him go. This one's really tough because we have seen the Houston Texans offense struggle with CJ Stroud all year. And now we get Davis Mills, Big Dave, comes in and just somehow unlocks the pass catchers. It doesn't make sense. I haven't watched a lot of the games to really dive into it, but it's
You just gotta
insane.
roll with it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Stroud's already been I think he's already out this week,
He's
so it's
out.
Davis Mills again.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, so far with Davis Mills, what do we got? His snap share's gone up and he's had 7 targets in both games, which led to 5 catches, 42 yards and a touchdown first game, 4 catches, 55 yards in this past game against Tennessee, which was a
J
weird
Hig.
game. The Texans are such a weird team, man, because you would expect more negative game scripts where they'd be passing a lot more, but their defense is on fire. So it's just these really gross games where it's just low scoring, not a lot going on, and it keeps the Texans in a position to where they keep wanting to run the ball with Woody Marks and Nick Chubb and not throw as much as well. But all that being said, I'm still adding Jaden Higgins. I want him on my team. Again, same reasons as Luther Burden and Bashal Tutin. It is a high upside, a high variable player that has the potential to be more in the offense. I mean, we've known all year long that the wide receiver 2 spot is wide open behind Nico. So I'd much rather take the gamble on a guy taking over the wide receiver 2 role and earning a spot in the offense, again, over someone who just has an immediate role because of an injury or something like that. So, yeah, I love Jaden Higgins. He's like the younger, newer stud version of Nico. He's going to get there. He's going to get there.
Yeah, I mean, 7 targets the past 2 weeks. It's awesome. All right, let me ask B Mike. B Mike, Chris Rodriguez. Chris Rodriguez is somebody people are adding. He's got the best playoff schedule for running backs, being a Washington Commander, but he sucks. So is he worth an ad?
I mean, I would never personally play him, especially because we don't know when Jaden Daniels is coming back. I think the whole offense right now is struggling. I think if they could get a little bit going in the passing game, he could have a little bit of, value, but I don't like him personally. I think Bill's still part of I think they're still going to be using Bill here and there. I don't think there's really going to be that one guy who's going to take over completely in that backfield. And I also don't trust the offense at all. I think they're just a very mediocre offense. I think they're not really going to get anything going. Maybe if they get Jaden Daniels back, but by the time that he could maybe come back, I feel like they have no chance to make playoffs. So I don't know. Would they really rush him back after kind of a gruesome injury? I don't know if it makes any sense. So personally, me, I mean, again, in if you're in deep leagues, and you have to have a starting running back, he is technically a starting running back. So for that case, yes, you maybe could. But if your team, I mean, if you have no one else, yeah, I mean, he's like a last resort kind of guy for me. He's definitely not anyone I would personally be starting. But again, sometimes you're desperate. Players get hurt. JK's down for the season. Josh Jacobs is going to miss some time. So I mean, if you got guys, you just have to start him. Then yeah, I mean, he's better than a backup. So yeah.
Yeah, he's just hard to trust. And I've said this
exactly.
Even with all the Bill hype from the beginning of the season, because I was the guy leading the charge on the Bill hype.
Oh, yeah,
I love Bill. So Dom, you'll like this. Famously, I traded George Pickens straight up for Brian Thomas earlier this year. Another trade offer I sent out was to Big Mike. I sent out A.J. Brown straight up for Bill. He did not take that trade.
That one keeps me up at night a little bit, even though AJ hasn't been good. I've been talking to Caleb about that. That one hurt bad. I was like, why am I such an idiot? Why did I not take that? Because I always think
stupid idiot.
You're someone. Bill. I just never want you to get one over on me.
I know.
So I just am terrified to trade with you because I'm like, this trade is too good to be true. And I'm like, I can't let KB get one over. I'm going to be an example on the show again. I can't be an example on the show. It's not worth it to me. So I'm like, I can't do it.
See, Dom, we were talking earlier about how our league mates, watch the show, and that like Mike won't even trade with me because he's scared I'm going to bring him up on the show. And I would never do that to anyone. I mean,
next week just put his face and like this guy traded.
Unless your name's David Roberto, then I will bring your trades up on the show.
All right, we got a lot of questions. I want to hit at least a couple of these really quick. Start one this week: Brock Purdy, Brissett, or Trevor. Bo Nix is on bye. Who's better rest of season, Bo Nix or Purdy? I'd say Purdy's better rest of season, unless anybody else disagrees.
I like Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I do too. He's consistent for sure.
Brissett's sneaky though.
Brissett's also a very good one. I really like Brissett. So Brissett would be the one I'd probably start this week. He's going against the Jags, and the Jags consistently are getting torched. Our Niners are playing the Panthers. That could be.
Panthers defense is low key kind of good against quarterbacks though.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Brissett's the start this week. Rest of season probably Purdy and Brissett. Next question. His bench is Kamani Vidal. Don't want to drop till Hampton comes back. Kyle Monungai has a role. Rashad White and Tony Pollard, who sucks. Should I drop Rashad White and/or Pollard for Emmanuel Wilson, Gainwell, Tootin, Knight? Yeah, right off the bat, I can tell you, Tony Pollard, you just need to get him off your team.
Yeah.
It's not happening. If he got traded at the deadline, he's worth keeping. I'm dropping him for Tootin, and then Rashad White. Depending on when Bucky comes back, that's going to be the hard one. I think he's in a good offense. He's like the better version of Gainwell because he's in a better offense. But if you really need a win, I could see you dropping Rashad White for Emmanuel Wilson for this week. So there's that. And then let's answer one more because he's got a couple more. We'll answer a couple more in a minute. Start two this week: Wandale Robinson, Shakir, and Sticky Ricky. Who is Wandale playing? Giants are playing the Lions, so high scoring game.
Wandale. Oh, start Wandale.
Oh, absolutely.
Khalil Shakir. Who's Khalil playing? Oh, they're playing the Texans. Gross. And Ricky's playing on Monday, playing the Panthers. It's kind of a tough one. It's probably Wandale and Ricky.
Yeah, yep. Wandale. Shakir is just in that offense, especially even after I don't know who Shavers is or where he came from, but that's the new Bills wide receiver one. So until Terrell Shavers is hurt or out of the lineup, I don't know. It's just that Bills offense, unless it's Kincaid or Cook, is just so out there.
Yeah.
Or
Uh,
you push them all to the side and you go pick up Jaden Higgins and you start him this week.
Yeah.
or better yet, you drop your whole team and just add Luther Burden, put him in your starting lineup, just to show him you know ball. Well, all right, we'll answer one more. Number one kicker, Dicker, is on bye. Is it worth holding on to him instead of dropping? If I don't drop Dicker, I'll have to drop Pollard for a kicker and risk not getting Wilson, Gainwell, Tootin, and Knight. Depends on your record. If you got to get a win, then drop Dicker. I mean, the difference in the number one kicker to like a top 10 kicker is not that bad. And you can typically get a top 10 kicker off by.
I would say,
Mike, do you disagree?
I would say the only way, if you can get Fairbairn off waiver wire, I know he's in a lot of leagues because he's coming off an injury. Fairbairn has been so good because Texans just struggle big time in the red zone. So he's someone I would definitely target at kicker. If you can't get someone like him, I normally don't care about kickers, but I will say sometimes kickers can be the difference between you winning and losing games, especially in tighter games. I honestly don't think Pollard. It depends the guy's team, but I don't think Pollard has any value. I think right now you have to keep guys that you're going to start in the playoffs, and Cameron Dicker is someone I definitely am going to start when I make it to playoffs. So for me, I'm keeping Cameron Dicker. I typically would never say to keep two kickers, but in this one scenario, I think I would, unless you can get guys like Fairbairn on waiver wire, which typically he is there, but not all the time. So I think
that's crazy. So would you rather have a kicker, let's say it's Fairbairn, or would you rather have Bashal Tootin on your bench?
I mean, typically, I'd like to have both.
Because that's
if I could get Fairbairn, I'd drop Cameron Dicker. So if I could get Fairbairn, I'm dropping Cameron Dicker for Fairbairn, and then I'd get Bashal
Okay,
Tootin
I see what you're saying.
For Pollard. But if you can't get Fairbairn, it's tough because sometimes some of these guys are getting like 2 to 5 points a week, and you got to have guys like Cameron Dicker getting 10 to 15 points a week. I mean, 5 to 10 points can be the difference between winning a lot of games. It's been the difference for me multiple times. I just lost Eddie Pinheiro, or however you pronounce his game, for the 49ers because he just hurt his hamstring. So this week I'm having to pick up a bunch of kickers in a lot of leagues, and I'm hoping Fairbairn I'll be able to get him in some leagues because he's been very good when he played. So that's the hope.
All right.
But
it depends. And if one thing you could do strategically is get your Emmanuel Wilson, your Bashal Tootin when you drop those guys, and then see if the Monday night kickers are there. So it'd be the Bills, Matt Prater, and or not the Bills. It's the Panthers and who's the guy? Was it the Bills? No. It's Niners. Eddie Pinheiro and I can't remember the guy's name for the Panthers, but see if they're on the wire. If they are, maybe you can drop one of those guys if they don't perform well on Sunday and pick up the kicker. So, all right, we are at 8:30. I want to get to some of these trade targets. So I'm just going to rapid fire list these waiver guys off. And then I'm going to go around and you guys tell me your favorite one from this list, favorite one or two. So Darnell Mooney, Kenneth Gainwell, Darren Waller, Trey Benson, Alec Pierce, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Dalton Schultz, Juwan Johnson, Brenton Strange. Dom, who are one or two of those guys that you're targeting off the waivers this week?
If Alec Pierce is still available, I'm loving Alec Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've had it. I think if anything, if you had him and Pittman on your team, hot take, I'd start Alec Pierce over Pittman. So I'm super high on Alec Pierce. I mean, all those guys are. I know Jalen Warren might be injured, so if Kenneth Gainwell is available in your league, I think he might be a sneaky oh my god, we were just talking about him. Green Bay Packers running back.
Yeah,
just like him this week. Nice handcuff if he is out. But other than that, Alec Pierce pickup is gold for me if he's still available in your league.
Alec Pierce, the guy. Caleb, who are one or two of these guys that you're targeting?
I love Trey Benson, man. Honestly, in most of my leagues, he's still on people's teams. And I'm willing to say, I know we're kind of skipping a segment, but I'd be willing to buy him pretty cheap. I think Arizona has not found someone to run the backfield. They need someone bad. Trey Benson was starting to get pretty hot before he went out. So I love the Trey Benson ad. Especially, it's scarce at running back right now. It's tough.
Yeah.
You got injuries all over the place. If you can get a starting running back on a half decent team who's been passing it very well lately, I'm definitely all about that.
Yeah, I hate Trey Benson as a player, but the value is just too good, and he's available in like over 50% of leagues right now. So a guy like that should not be left on your waiver wire.
That's insane.
So, all right, Micah, give me one or two of these guys that you're targeting this week.
Yeah, I would say my main one is definitely Darnell Mooney. You have Drake London injury. Darnell Mooney was great last year with Kirk Cousins. With Drake London healthy, now you have a hurt Drake London who could miss 2 to 4 weeks, they're saying. And you have, obviously, Penix out for season, so he's going to be running with Kirk. I think he's definitely a top ad because, I mean, I think me and Caleb were talking about this earlier. They have no one else to throw to. I think they have, Jamal Agnew. They're starting
Kadarius
Hodge.
Yeah,
Kadarius Hodge and Jamal Agnew.
Did y'all know that David Sills the fifth was like super famous a few years back because when he was like 13 or 14 years old, he committed to USC as a quarterback.
Oh, none of that.
Crazy ball knower information for everybody. But yeah, keep going, Mike.
That doesn't help us, bro.
Oh no, yeah, I was just saying. I think he's. I mean, they have no one else to throw to. Like, obviously, Pitts might get an uptick a little bit, but I think Darnell Mooney is going to be by far the main.
And you're forgetting the best part. You're forgetting the best part. Kirko Chains is back in the lineup. He's just heating up.
Yeah, that he is.
Everybody knows Caleb's hot take that Michael Penix would get hurt or get benched. Kirko Bangs would come onto the field and lead the Falcons to the playoffs. So the first half of this equation is already set in stone. Now we just need Kirko to win out. We need Kirko to win out, and
with no Drake London.
With no Drake London. But I mean, to be fair, whenever Drake London was on the field, Kirk Cousins never threw to him. So
this is true.
All right, yeah, I'll go with two guys you guys didn't mention. Gosh, there's a lot of good players on this. I'm going to hit a couple guys. Sorry. Christian Watson, Jaden Reed. Watson's scoring touchdowns right now, and that's very valuable. But Jaden Reed, he was the number one receiver on this team a year ago. He's been hurt. He's rumored to be on the mend, could return in the next week or two. So he's a really sneaky ad. I think Darren Waller, we hit on earlier, best tight end playoff schedule is the Miami Dolphins, and all Darren Waller does is score touchdowns. Plus, with that offense playing a little better now, he could be in line for some major work. And the last two guys I'll hit, and these are tight ends, so they're sleeper guys. But Dalton Schultz is eating right now in this Davis Mills offense. He is eating. He's had like 8 targets the last like 2 games, and he is playing really well. So he's a good guy to add. Brenton Strange is the other one I'll add. With all the injuries and all the struggles on this Jags offense, Brenton Strange was playing really well early on. He gets hurt. Now he's going to come back. They've added Jacoby Myers, and Brian Thomas will be back from injury. But I just think Brenton Strange is probably the guy Trevor trusts the most on that offense. So I expect him to see a lot of targets. All right, we're going to shift to our trade targets. But before we do, we'll answer some of these questions because we got a ton from you guys. So number one, we'll go with J.R. Smile. Who's a priority pickup? Emmanuel Wilson, Sean Tucker, Tyjae Spears, Jordan Mason. He has Bucky if that makes a difference. Micah, who's the priority here?
I mean, it's tough. So if Bucky doesn't play, I mean, I think we need to see if Bucky can actually take a hit right now. I know they're saying it's kind of like a 50-50 if he plays. If he doesn't play, I mean, obviously Sean Tucker's the obvious answer, in my opinion. I think he clearly proved that he's going to get the majority of, the rushing attempts. If Bucky does play, obviously, I think Emmanuel Wilson's definitely the safest bet. So I think it kind of just depends. I kind of would have to, see what they're saying about Bucky. Which right now is kind of a 50-50. So it's kind of just, if you want to take the risk or not, if you want to play it safe, Emmanuel Wilson, but if you want to take the risk, you go Sean Tucker, because I think there's a lot more upside with Sean Tucker because he's a much better back than Emmanuel Wilson. I don't even think Emmanuel Wilson's. I'm a big Marshawn Lloyd fan. So I'm very big on him, but obviously he can't stay healthy. I don't even think, hopefully when he comes back, he can take some work away, but he can't stay healthy. So I mean, it just depends if you want to take a risk or not, personally.
Anybody disagree?
No,
No,
I
think-
agree.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say is Spears will probably be on your waivers next week because he's going against Seattle this week. Number 1 rush defense. Jordan Mason is buns. So, and Sean Tucker just showed you he's a baller, and he did this last year when Bucky wasn't playing. And I think the Bucs have finally understood that Rashad cannot run the ball very well. So give the ball to Sean Tucker.
Yes,
And Sean Tucker even got passes out of the backfield this past week, and it was just beautiful, a thing to be witnessed. All right, let's go to another question. Stephen Grease. I have buy spots to fill this week. Drop options: DJ Moore, Harold Fannin, Pitts, or Pierce. Pickup options: Sean Tucker, Manuel Wilson, Kenneth Gainwell. What order do you rank drops and pickups? Caleb, what do you think?
You got a lot of tight ends. It's tough. I'm actually debating dropping Pitts right now, but now with the news of Drake London, it's kind of like you want to hold on to see what happens. I'm holding on to Pierce. I'm holding on to DJ Moore.
Huh?
I'm holding on to DJ Moore.
Dom, are you holding on to DJ Moore?
Man, I don't know. It depends. It depends how many people are in your league, but it also depends like who you have. Because if you're willing to drop DJ Moore, then I think you should. I don't think if you're not confident enough to start him, there's no real upside to him if you're just gonna leave him on your bench. So
Yeah,
I think he still has a little bit of
DJ
name
Moore
value, and I think you could maybe package him in a trade to get something small. Is the only reason I'd hold on to DJ Moore.
yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah,
I think DJ Moore sucks.
I don't think he's very good either, but
Sorry, I just had to say that just for the record.
it's just
everybody
tough
to hear
because
me.
Sean Tucker, Emmanuel Wilson, Kenneth Gainwell are on the same position. They are in a starting role because of an injury. Yeah, I'm probably dropping Fannin
Yeah,
for my number one drop.
I'd say Fannin and Moore are my 1 and 2 drops. I think I'm keeping Pitts and Pierce, and I'd be adding Emmanuel Wilson and then Tucker, depending on the Bucky news. Obviously, we're probably not going to get the Bucky news till Sunday, so that's going to be a risk either way. Emmanuel Wilson, I think, is a safe guy to go and get for at least 1 week so you can win. He also says that he plans to grab a defense and not drop Denver on a bye if possible. So, yeah, I think that's 100% something you need to do. Do not drop Denver's defense. They're balling. So let's see this. Okay. This guy asked a lot of questions. Okay. Who has a better shot at coming back? Jaden Daniels or Joe Burrow?
Joe
I think
Burrow.
it's Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
He's already, they already opened his 21-day practice window, so it's pretty guaranteed he's coming back at least in the next couple weeks. They've already kind of said. So.
All right, so handcuff season. Which 3 are the best? We got Blake Corum, B. Rob, Tootin, Stevenson, Manuel Wilson, Pacheco, Knight. He has DJ Moore on his bench. Is he droppable to get 4 of those guys? Dom, what do you think?
yeah, I think we just talked about if you're willing to drop somebody, I don't mind dropping DJ Moore. Again, if you're not starting him, if he's not like somebody on your team that you're relying on, I don't see a reason. I mean, I agree with what do you call it? I think Caleb said it. If you can package him, do it. But I don't see anybody trading for him.
No.
So I would. If you're gonna drop DJ Moore to get Wilson this week, I don't mind that. Even if you're gonna drop him to get Tootin, I wouldn't touch Stevenson. Pacheco, I don't like that Chiefs running offense. That's if you're desperate. Corum's good, a very decent handcuff, despite him being terrible and having so many opportunities to score a touchdown this past weekend. They're still giving him a ton of volume. So if you're gonna grab somebody for a handcuff, I don't mind Corum or Tootin.
Yeah.
And I would drop DJ Moore if you're not starting him.
I agree with that. I think the DJ Moore thing is so interesting because, like we've said, he's got name value, but you have to be willing to cut bait at some point. I mean, this guy has 3 games this year, 3 games out of 10 where he has scored over 10 fantasy points. And
Yeah.
2 of those were 12-pointers. One of them was a 24-point game. So, like, and that was against Cincinnati. So, like, you know, you're not going to trust him. If you're willing to drop him, it probably means you're not going to start him. So, Corum and Tootin, I think, are my favorites there. You know, obviously Stevenson will probably still have some sort of a role. Emmanuel Wilson will have a role for a week at minimum. Zonovan Knight, I'm not worried about Zonovan Knight. He's dead to me. All right, let's move on to the trade segment. I know we still got a couple questions, but we got to hit these trade targets because we're running, baby. Josh Jacobs, Dom, are we trading for Josh Jacobs?
10,000%. I
10,000%.
Yeah, we talked about it before. I don't know if everybody was here, but he's not going to be out long term. They're not. They already said he doesn't need surgery. They're probably just saving him for that Lions game. I don't see him being out long term. He has a really nice fantasy football playoff schedule. So if you can get him, people are probably panicking on him that he's out right now. I would get him. I would probably try and trade for him. So yeah, I'm thinking about who I would trade for him.
All right, so I got a couple scenarios here. You ready?
Yeah.
Would you trade Saquon Barkley for Tyron Tracy and Josh Jacobs?
Yeah. I would for Saquon for Josh. I would do Saquon for Josh Jacobs straight up.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you do Javonte Williams and Rashad White for Josh Jacobs?
Javonte Williams and Rashad White. I don't think that one. I think Javonte Williams and Rashad White for Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Would you trade Rashee Rice for Josh Jacobs? Yeah. Kamani Vidal and Tyler Algier.
Yes.
Man,
Boy,
I can't think of anything else.
yeah.
Yeah, this is the those are trades from Dynasty Daddy that happened today. So
Good Lord.
Looks like Mike's having some trouble. I'm gonna mute him for a second until he figures it out. Well, he might not even be on. All right, but yeah, those are trades that have happened. But yeah, I mean, Josh Jacobs has a great playoff schedule. He's one of these guys that plays better in the cold. Definitely think he's worth targeting. Caleb, we trading for the big dog.
Oh, the big dog.
The big dog.
Mr. Henry. I wish you didn't ask me that one. I've never liked Derrick Henry. Hate me all you want.
Yes. 100%.
No, it's crazy. But yes, absolutely. I would trade for him. He plays Cincinnati twice. I mean, that's just a guaranteed 30 bomb each time.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
It's crazy.
He gets New England and Green Bay the last 2 games in the playoffs, which is kind of tough. But I still think that Lamar is getting back to his old stuff and unlocking the offense. And I think once Lamar gets going, it's going to get Derrick Henry going. So yeah, I'm trading for Derrick Henry. I'm not giving up any of my key guys. But if I can package together two players for him, I'll definitely do it.
All right, let me ask you this. Would you trade George Pickens and Chris Olave for Devontae Adams and Derrick Henry?
George Pickens, Chris Olave. No, I would not.
Let's assume in this scenario you really need a running back.
Yeah.
I really need one.
Yeah.
Am I deep at receiver?
You're able to trade away George Pickens and Chris Olave. So let's assume if it's a 2 receiver and 1 flex league, you've got
I'll do that.
4 receivers. So you trade away 2 of them to get Devontae and Derrick Henry. Now you got a flex receiver and a running back.
Yeah, I would do that trade.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty fair deal where it helps both sides.
Yeah.
How about this one? Saquon Barkley and Travis Kelce for Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara.
Oh. No, I would not.
Would you do Saquon Barkley straight up for Derrick Henry?
I'd probably sleep on it and wake up the next morning and I'd hit that.
Yeah.
I would do that.
Yeah, I think you got to hit that. I mean, well,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Hold on real quick. 'Cause Saquon's playoff schedule. You ready for this?
Oh Lord.
Las Vegas,
Oh.
Washington, Buffalo.
Oh.
I don't know why Saquon's not one of the top guys to add. So yeah, that one probably not. But you see, kind
I
of
think it would
ideas
depend
of
on the
what you can trade.
situation. If I was like 5-5 fighting for a playoff spot, I think I would go get the big dog because you get those 2 games against Cincy. And that gives you a
Yeah.
big chance to win out and make playoffs. If I'm already sitting pretty good and I've got a lock spot, then I'm probably holding on to Saquon for that playoff run.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right. Shout out Steven. He says, thanks, guys, for answering that question earlier. Appreciate you, my man. Thanks for hopping in.
Of course,
For those of you
Steven.
who haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, keep hanging out with us. We're here every Tuesday. Big Mike, you ready?
Yeah.
Aaron
Sorry, I
Jones. Are you trading for Aaron Jones?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it depends if you're desperate. I've never been an Aaron Jones guy. I think he gets hurt. His hamstrings are just made of paper. He's just always hurt for me. So he's not someone I would love to get, but I'm in some leagues right now where I don't really have options. No one wants to get rid of their top guys with playoffs coming. So
Yeah.
I think if you're desperate, yes. I mean, he's not the worst RB2 to have in the world. It just
Right.
depends
Not,
what you can
I've
get
got a
him
note
for.
on him that currently he's the 1A in that backfield, and they have the 4th best playoff schedule, is the way I look at it. So let me give you trade scenarios. So somebody traded Devontae Smith for Aaron Jones and DK Metcalf.
Oh, I'd way rather have the Aaron Jones side.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
So we got an Aaron Jones straight up for Tyron Tracy. Aaron Jones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Christian Watson and Sean Tucker for Aaron Jones.
I'm still taking Aaron Jones because I think Sean Tucker is a short fix. Even if Bucky misses a week, I think Bucky will be back in a week or two, and he's pretty much obsolete at that point. So yeah, absolutely.
Troy Franklin straight up for Aaron Jones.
I mean, it definitely depends your needs. Troy Franklin has been good. I mean, it would strictly depend my needs. But like in one of my leagues, I really need a running back too because JK just went out for the season and Bucky's been hurt most of the year. So in that case, yes, I definitely would just out of desperation. But it's really just more of a need thing at that point.
And we'll assume that, the positions, if I'm bringing up a trade, we'll just assume that, we need that position.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that's the thing. So Aaron Jones feels like a gross buy, right?
Yeah.
But here, if you look at these trades that have happened, that's so cheap for Aaron Jones for potential like RB1 production. And this is something that if Alex was here, he'd be harping on is value, value, value. Don't be just trading for guys, just to, make even trades. Try to get guys at a value. Aaron Jones feels like a great value.
Yeah.
All right, so Dom, next I've got the Lions offense really, and I'll highlight 2 specific guys, but we'll focus on the receiver mainly. But Jameson Williams and Jared Goff, the Lions will be playing in domes for the remainder of the season. They'll be indoors, not in the weather. They also have no Sam Laporta for the next few weeks, and Dan Campbell's calling plays. Are you interested in buying Jameson Williams?
I did say in the group chat that this is probably my last question. I got to start getting going.
Okay.
But with this, Jameson Williams is one of those players where it's like you don't know what you're going to get ever. I kind of wanted to see him this week without Laporta, and I just don't. I'm not too sure about him. I feel like there's much better options with Williams. That just not for me. He's a stretch the field type of guy. He's what Xavier Worthy is with Rashid Rice.
Yeah.
It's for me, I wouldn't go out and grab him. He's not a guy that I'm actively looking for. Even though it's a good situation for him, I just don't think that he gets the enough volume to be that guy that could produce like wide receiver 2 numbers.
Yeah. And of course, these guys are risky. Like Jameson really hadn't done much all year. He does have like 4 touchdowns his last 5 games, I believe. So he is starting to play a little well. And with Dan Campbell calling the plays, it's definitely seen an uptick in usage. Let me ask you this. So here's a trade that went down today. Somebody traded T. Higgins, Rico Dowdle, and Tyron Tracy for Jameson Williams and the big dog, Derrick Henry.
No, not at all.
What?
That's it. You're getting rid of Rico Dowdle, and I heard Rico Dowdle, and I said no. But Rico Dowdle, on who?
Dang. Anybody else taking the big dog, or y'all siding with
Yeah,
I'm probably taking
Rico.
Big Dog.
I'm taking Rico. I also like T. Higgins a
Oh
lot.
man, that's crazy. We got our first one that we all disagree on. That's good. Dude, I'm taking Big Dog and Jameson all day. That feels like such an easy trade for me. Panthers do have a decent schedule, but we just never know with the Panthers offense, and although like Rico had those huge games, like I don't know. And Tyron Tracy, I don't really believe in like all the way. He's a better option on the Giants, but I'm not really comfortable starting him. And then T. Higgins is only a little bit better than Jameson Williams per point, like points per game right now.
At least he gets volume, though. At least he gets like consistent volume where he's
Sometimes.
Not really.
Yeah, if you own T. Higgins, it can be frustrating.
Yeah, he is about to get Joe Burrow back, though. I think that definitely is going to help. And also, he's been a lot better with Joe Flacco. So
Joe can just sling the ball to Jamar Chase, his lover?
not this game.
Not this week.
Well, yeah, that's true. Not this week. How about this one? Zay Flowers for Ricky Pearsall and Jameson Williams.
Yes, JMO side. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
That's kind of a gross one. Well, this isn't too bad. Caleb Williams and Ladd McConkey for Brian Thomas Jr. and Jameson Williams.
I wouldn't. I don't. I would probably just take the Caleb side.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to our next trade. Dom, whenever you got to leave, just holler.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna head
You gotta
out
go?
now. Thank you guys.
Go ahead, dude. Dom,
See you,
good
Dom.
to see you, man. Good luck this week, man. We'll catch you later.
Catch you later, guys. Good night.
And then there were 3. All right, boys, we're grinding these out.
Sir,
Let
yes,
me show
sir.
some love to B Mike. I already know what Caleb would say on this one, so I want to hear B Mike. Tetaroa McMillan finally broke out this past week in a big way. 33 fantasy points, I believe, 2 touchdowns, 100 yards. Yeah. Let's go. He was sitting on all my benches. Hooray for me. So he's got the 10th best playoff schedule with the Panthers. Would you be buying this breakout and buying Tetaroa?
Yes, I definitely. I mean, I same as you, benched him in both leagues like an idiot because he has been kind of mid for the most part. But I do think, like y'all have said before, that rookies typically get going the second half of the season after week 10 or 11. And I think he's a perfect breakout candidate. The only thing that scares me is Bryce Young's inconsistencies. Yeah. But I am a big fan of his. Like, I think if you put him with any decent QB with consistency, I think he's the best rookie in this draft class, wide receiver wise. I'm a big Emeka fan as well, so I'd say they're even. But yeah, no, I would absolutely. He's definitely someone I would buy right now. Absolutely. I'm a big
All right, so fan. Let's hear these trades. So Jalen Waddle straight up for Tetaroa.
I'm taking Tet.
Yeah, all day. That's so money. Rico Dowdle for Tetaroa and Zach Charbonnet.
Ooh, that's tough. Oh man, I mean, I feel like running backs.
Rico.
Yeah, I think running backs are a lot more scarce. Like in the sense of like it's tough to get a guy who's getting the workload that Rico's getting right now. Whereas Tetaroa, I mean, it's one game. I think I'd have to see a little bit more from him. Like he's only had one really breakout game all year. We've been looking forward all year. I think it could be a little bit of a trend, maybe. But right now, I'm definitely taking the Rico. I just think there's way more consistency.
Amon-Ra St. Brown for Tetaroa and Travis Etienne.
Yeah, Amon-Ra all day.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Amon-Ra.
Yep, me too. All right, hold on.
I think I agree. The one thing I'll say is like it's not a Tet problem; it's a Bryce Young problem. He's only had 2 games this year. He has thrown over 200 yards. And in those 2 games, Tet had 27 and 37. Yeah. If Bryce could be consistent and keep it going, I'm trading big money for Tet.
These are good ones. Yeah. Quinshon Judkins for Tetaroa and Jalen Warren.
I'm definitely taking the Tet side. Absolutely.
Tet and Jalen.
Yeah, I don't trust Judkins because the offense just can't get going, and they're typically playing from behind. And also, he has no receiving upside. Every single time on every third down play, they take him out and put in Dylan Sampson or Jerome Ford, and it's just there's no upside with him in most games because they're playing from behind and they don't need him. They need receiving backs, and he's just not the guy they're using. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think Tet's a great buy. I'm with you on this. The other one was Ashton Genty straight up for Tet, but I think we can all agree it's Tet in that one.
yeah,
As much as
I've
we
never,
love Genty,
I'm not. I'm not actually. I've never been
except
a
for
Genty
Mike.
guy.
Yeah,
I've
Mike
always
said
told
that
y'all-
he's going to be the biggest bust since Ryan Leaf.
Hey, so far I'm
don't-
not looking. So far I'm not
No.
looking too far off for fantasy. No,
What?
he looks great. I'm kidding.
You're
He looks great.
crazy. You're
He does look
crazy.
good.
You
He
weren't
does
there
look
when
hairy.
Ryan Leaf busted. That was
Listen,
insane.
I know. It was a little bit of it was being facetious a bit, but he is top 5 worst in the league yards per carry. And I know his O-line is atrocious. I give him that. And I do think
Yeah.
Ashton Dinty is very talented. But just from a fantasy aspect, I mean, that I think he was never worth that first or second round pick like people were taking him. Some people were taking him top 5. I think it was the craziest thing ever. And I told people I'm not a Genty guy. I don't think that offense can support a RB1 right now, especially not with Geno and how he's playing.
Yeah, we talked about this briefly earlier. Was he worth the value? Like, even without knowing his output, like right now he's hitting the low to mid range of his outcomes. If we didn't know that, is it still good process to try to buy a guy? Because the whole thesis on buying him so early in the first, in the late first, even some people creeping him up to the middle of the first, was just the idea that he was going to get fed so much volume, both rushing and receiving, and that has not hit. Like, I mean, only recently in a few games he's getting receptions. I don't think anybody expected Geno to fall off this hard. Like, I don't think anybody was like super high on Geno, but nobody really expected him to be this bad. And we all knew the offensive line was bad, but I don't think any of us knew it was this bad. I mean, the whole yards per carry thing to me is a red herring. That's an offensive line stat all the way, especially for Genty. Like, if you see, I think he has the most yards after contact in the league, or yards after first contact or something like that. And he's getting hit like behind the line almost every play, and it's just painful to watch. So you're right. He did bust at his value. Like, we have to agree on that. Like, he did not pay off as a first round pick, but I think the strategy idea was there. It's just hard to miss on a first round pick when Puka was right there.
Yeah, I think it's my philosophy has always been never to take a rookie in the first round. I don't think it's ever worth it because you're drafting them at their ceiling. So even if he pays off, it's like, okay, you got him. You could have gotten any other guy that you didn't have to risk it. Now you're risking it for a guy. I'm typically liking rookies way later, like the 6 to 10 round, where you're getting a Mecca, Tyler Warren, a lot of those guys that you can just
Brian
get way
Thomas
more
last
upside.
year, Malik Neighbors,
Yeah,
or not
exactly.
Malik Neighbors,
Ladd
Brock
McConkey.
Bowers.
And Ladd McConkey is the same thing. It's just there's way more upside there. Whereas if you're getting him in the first couple rounds, like I was even saying, I'd rather have guys like A-Chain or like Bucky Irving, but obviously Bucky Irving got hurt, so that didn't pay off as well.
Right.
But even still, like I'm never getting a rookie in the first round. I think it's a horrible idea.
All right, so let's move on. Cabes, Jalen Waddle. This is your boy, your dog. You love Jalen Waddle. He's got a
Big
top
J.
5 playoff schedule. I don't. That note doesn't apply here. But are you trading for Jaden or Jaden? Am I saying the right thing?
Jalen. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, if I can get him for a decent price, I'm getting them. I think it'd be tough to get Jalen Waddle right now because I think the guys who did draft him were drafting him as a flex play, and that's exactly what he's been doing so far. I mean, right now he is 10th receiver ranked right now out of receivers in points. So he's top 10 in fantasy points, which it's not saying a whole lot because this has just been a really weird year, especially for receivers. It's been a lot of injuries. So it just all depends on your situation, but I do like Jalen Waddle. I don't like Tua, and that really is frustrating. I think it's kind of similar to the Tuts situation. We have inconsistent QB play, and you're just hoping to have those touchdowns come at some point to kind of save you, or those big plays downfield. But yeah, I mean, if you shouted out some potential
Yeah.
trades,
Yep.
then I can kind of get
ETN,
a better idea.
ETN straight up for Waddle.
Yeah, I do that.
Xavier Worthy and James Cook for Jalen Waddle and Brees Hall.
I'll take the James Cook side.
Yeah, I think James Cook is the best player in that trade.
Yeah. I don't think there's a point
Yeah.
to get rid of him. Brees is too inconsistent. There's way too inconsistent.
It's close,
on
though.
that team now.
It's pretty close.
It is close because I think Worthy
Yeah, it
is
is.
like almost a zero right
useless,
now.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Tyquan Thornton is playing better than he is.
No, I mean, he's almost droppable. I think he's had one good game all year. He had 17 points, and that was with Rashee Rice out. Now,
Yeah.
with Rashee Rice back, he's just been obsolete, man. He's I don't think he's hit over 11
Sad.
points the last like 5 or 6 games, which is honestly crazy. I think everyone thought it was going to be a 1-2 punch between them two, and honestly, it's been Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice. I mean, Travis has just seen a way uptick because everyone's targeting Rashee now. They got to double team him, and they're just so worried about him because he's a beast.
RJ Harvey and DJ Moore straight up for Jalen Waddle.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me Waddle for that.
Yeah.
And then Jerry Jeudy and Jordan Addison for Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, definitely take Waddle. I don't trust JJ McCarthy enough. Yeah.
Oh, here's an interesting one. Xavier Worthy and George Kittle for Waddle.
I'll take the Kittle
Assume
side.
you need a tight end.
I think the Kittle side, yeah.
I mean, Kittle with Brock Purdy he was the number 1 tight end last year, him and Brock Bowers. So I think with Purdy, he just loves him. He's the first to read in the offense, and he's by far his favorite guy.
All right, last one. Khalil Shakir, Roma Dunze for Jalen Waddle.
I guess it depends if you need depth. But if you don't need depth, if you're looking for the better player than Jalen Waddle.
I'm taking Waddle. Yeah, I'm going Waddle.
That one feels easy to me. All right, last one. Big Mike. We just talked about the Niners briefly, but Purdy's back. The 49ers wide receivers have the best playoff schedule for wide receivers. So we're talking Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings. Those are really the only 2 guys I'm interested in. Is there one of those guys that you prefer?
I mean, it's tough because obviously Pearsall came back and had a donut. So you're kind of like, okay, is this just like him getting used to things? And also what scares me is they're saying that Brandon Ayuk's supposed to come back by around week 13 or 14. And, typically you wouldn't be too worried, but I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of target dilution over there, especially with Kittle getting a lot. CMC gets a lot. I don't know. I mean, there's no one I'm dying to have in that offense right now. I would prefer Juwan Jennings right now over Pearsall just because the injury. I think the PCL is still a problem. But personally, I don't like any of them. I think Kittle's the only one I want in the receiving game, other than obviously CMC, who's a running back. But I think with Ayuk coming back as well is just too much to go around. I don't think any of them are just going to ball out the rest of the season. Personally,
yeah, I actually really like Juwan Jennings. I think that he's pretty good, and I think I liked the idea of Ricky Pearsall. And I still think he's going to have good games, but when he's been on the field with Juwan Jennings has been the alpha almost every time. And so that's why I still like Juwan Jennings. And even with Ayuk coming back, it feels like a lot of guys, but it's one of those things where I think it's perceived and it's not real because Ayuk, I mean, the dude has been out for almost 2 years with this ACL injury. And he's going to come back like, what capacity is he coming back at? We don't really know. So, just thinking about Juwan Jennings and thinking about how cheap he is. So, like, listen to this. Would you trade Jake Ferguson for Tyler Algier and Juwan Jennings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends your tight end. If you have another tight end to play, I mean, if you don't have if you got like waiver wire tight ends like David Njoku or something, then I'm holding on to Jake because I think tight ends are few and far between.
Yeah. DJ Moore for Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
Juwan Jennings all day long. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you trade Garrett Wilson for Juwan Jennings?
It depends if I'm if I can easily make the playoffs, I might take the risk and hold out because they're saying Garrett's going to come back. I think right before playoffs start, like around week 14. I think because he's out for 4 weeks. And they also benched Justin Fields, so he's going to have Tyrod Taylor, which I think is a big upgrade from Justin Fields, but
Yeah.
I probably would take the risk if I'm in a good position. If I need to win now, then you have to go Juwan. You don't have an option.
Cortland Sutton or Jawan Jennings?
Juwan all day. Sutton has broke my heart this year.
Here's a good one. Aaron Jones or Jawan Jennings? Everybody say it together. Aaron Jones.
Juwan Jennings.
Yeah. Would you trade Mark Andrews or Kyle Pitts straight up for Jawan Jennings?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
I think
So
honestly
that's-
the biggest star here is trading for Brock Purdy or adding him off the waiver wire.
Right.
I think if you're in QB trouble or bye weeks or whatever it may be, like I love Brock Purdy. I think he's in a beautiful system. Like everyone talks about the Vikings QB system. Any QB can come in and play great. Like I don't see Sam Turn being that much different. We're seeing Mac Jones play like a QB1. So Brock Purdy, I think, is even better, and he has a little bit of rushing to him, believe it or not. And even last year with C-Mac being out all year, Brock Purdy was slinging, man. Oh, he was slinging. He looked good. So I like trading for Brock Purdy, especially if you need a QB. Depending what your team looks like.
And QB trades are hard. I'm not going to pull up these trades because they're so weird. Some of them are just Brock Purdy for free. So it must be for like fab money or something. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. So that's it for the trade segment. Let's go back and answer some of these questions. And then we'll hop off. Frosty hopped on. Pick one, PPR, Mooney, Downs, Judy, or Godwin if he plays. I think this is Mooney, right?
Who do the Colts play?
Pulling it up. Hold on.
Even then, Josh Downs just got out.
Colts play the Chiefs. Colts play the Chiefs. Falcons play the Saints. Browns play the Raiders.
Don't like Jerry Judy.
Moody's the only one I feel like is the true wide receiver one for them right now because they're starting Jamal Agnew. So
Frosty said he's like, I need Drake London so bad, more than ever, but Cousins sucks. I was considering trading London for Rice last week. Bummer. Yeah. I mean, so many of those. I mean, Big Mike can tell you all about that.
Wait, what are you talking about?
No. Don't worry about it. All right, who wins this trade? Puka, Brees, and Tyler Warren for Judkins, McBride, and Nico. Ooh,
the first side, absolutely.
I think it's the first side.
Yeah, you got to go Puka and Warren.
I mean,
McBride has been like a first-round pick, though, man. Oh my gosh,
McBride
is balling.
He is going to win me a lot of money this year.
He might be outplaying Puka and Nico right now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to say.
He's probably the best player in this deal right now. But Puka and Warren and Brees are all higher to me than Nico, Judkins. So, okay, let's see. Should I drop Dak or Daniel Jones or drop one of my handcuffs of Blake Corum, B. Rob, or Algier? I need to pick up a wide receiver this week. I usually use Jones weekly as my quarterback. I mean, if you've got both Dak and Jones, I feel like you could drop one of those guys.
They're kind of the same person. I think they're both like bottom 10 in points scored right now.
Yeah. I actually prefer Dak in that. Or drop Brian Robinson. Algier's got some standalone value. Corum's got some. Corum's actually a great handcuff. I think he's probably one of my favorite handcuffs right now.
Agreed.
But yeah, if you need a receiver, go get like Darnell Mooney or something and drop Daniel Jones, and he'll probably still be there. Start 2 this week: Chris Godwin, Darnell Mooney, Sterling Shepard, Yoshi Voss, Amanor, Coker, Leggett, Tillman, Judy, or any Jets receiver. Wow, this is a lot. This is all gross. He wants 10 points. 10 points is all he wants.
Mooney and Yoshivash next.
Yeah, I don't think Godwin's even going to play. So I'm definitely going Moody, absolutely. I probably agree, honestly. I think Yoshi Vosh because Jamar Chase is out. So I actually think I agree with that. And I don't think Goddard
Yeah,
plays, but he might.
and Judy was the one who was kind of interesting to me. But if Shador's playing, I don't want anything to do with that offense, brother.
Bust down my
Leggett,
AP.
Leggett is the one that I would potentially start because Leggett, Bryce Young loves Xavier Leggett. It is crazy, and they're going against
Yeah, he
San
does.
Fran. It's probably going to be a high-scoring game. They're probably going to be in comeback mode. And if Bryce has a game, not even the same as last week, but just like 75% of last week, Leggett could get there. So yeah, I think that would all be good. But yeah, I think that answers all the questions. So everybody, thank you so much for hopping on with us. If you haven't already, don't forget to follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Talking all things football, fantasy football, all the stuff. Oh, Daniel's saying, wait, if you can get it in before I finish saying these points, you can ask a question.
Hurry, Daniel. Hurry. Come on, Daniel. Let's go.
Follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and make sure you listen to us anywhere podcasts are found. Okay, Daniel does have a question before we leave. CMC, Chris Olave, Pittman for A-Chain, Rice, and Goddard. I already have Warren. His others are not worth Warren. Okay, so Daniel.
I think I'm doing it.
Well, hold on. So Daniel, he plays in this league where it's the 2 weeks of playoffs. So each round is 2 weeks of an aggregate score. So it starts in week 14. These are the worst leagues, 100%.
You got to change that, Daniel.
Got to change that, Daniel. Got to talk to your
Not
friends
fun.
to change that. But yeah, I mean, as good as CMC is, you're like, you're depending on him for 1 week because he's on bye week, whereas HN could probably double what CMC gets. Rice, Goddard. Yeah, I mean, I think I like the HN Rice side.
Yeah, because he doesn't need Goddard. You have Warren, so it's really just HN and Rice. You're giving up.
You're looking at
Olave, CMC.
You're upgrading from Olave to Rice. You're downgrading just a little bit from CMC to HN, and especially his fantasy playoff schedule for HN is so good. I think HN is just going to eat all playoffs long. So you might not even miss CMC. So, yeah. Now the other question would be, Daniel, as the guy you're trading it to, are you going to see him in the first round? That would suck to trade him CMC and then CMC drops like a 50 burger. And
that'd be insane. Can you imagine?
I'm glad you got that question in. Oh yeah, he is HN right now on bye. Yeah,
Wow.
so that Daniel, like I said, he needs to win this week to make it. Yes, go do that trade.
Yeah.
Go do that trade.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with all that being said, you guys know where to find us, and we appreciate you all being here. We will see you next time.
Ladies, we did the research for you. Fellas, pay attention. We've partnered up with Bonheure Jewelry. Bonheure is a celebrity favorite, eco-friendly jewelry company based in New York City. They're adored by stars such as Emma Watson, Gal Gadot, Katy Perry, Kim Kardashian, Kendall Jenner, and Hailey Bieber. Their designs have been featured in top publications including Vogue, Elle, V Magazine, and on major platforms. We love them. They have great pricing for luxury jewelry. It's something that you can start planning for before the holidays get here and get it early. Click on the link in our show notes below. You can sign up for 15% off your first order. When you support our partners, you support FanFeed Network. Check them out.